On the other side, ladies and gentlemen, we shift our focus to what the center says is a major policy victory. According to the government, Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg has apologized to the Indian government, acknowledging lapses relating to child sexual abuse material, AI-generated deepfakes, and the platform's operational failures. The development comes amid heightened scrutiny after Prime Minister Narendra Modi's video message to students was briefly for 5 hours taken down from Facebook. The government has maintained that the issue was never about a single deleted post. It argued that the larger concern was big tech's repeated failure to tackle illegal content. And the BJP now says Meta's apology amounts to an admission that those concerns were justified. The opposition, however, had dismissed the government's campaign as a pretext to tighten its grip over digital platforms, accusing it of being disproportionately outraged over a single Prime Minister post. TMC MP Mahua Moitra even described the demand for accountability as bullying. Tagging Mark Zuckerberg, she urged him not to apologize, accusing the Indian government of blackmail and intimidation. Now that Meta has apologized, the obvious question is, will the opposition update its Facebook status too?
You're watching the News Hour at 9, debate number 2 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Well, joining the debate with Siddharth Yadav, Sanjay Jha, Chirag Sethi is Abhijit Iyer Mitra. First to you, Sanjay Jha. How is this crushing free speech? There are problems. The parliamentary committee, of which I think several members of the Congress are also a part, the opposition are also a part, asked for checking of these norms. They have apologized. That's an admission of guilt in terms of mistakes being committed. Why is the Congress defending the mistakes on child abuse that is going on social media?
By the way, since we are talking about abuse and vulgarity, one should see the right-wing ecosystem abusing women on X. I have seen many of them, and I can tell you it's so vulgar, crude, and cheap that if anybody needs to apologize to the people of India, especially to the women, it has to be Mr. Modi himself. But here is the truth, Navika. Social media is a double-edged sword. For a long time, Mr. Modi's government, using their troll army and many eminent celebrities, abused it for their own propaganda and publicity. But over the last couple of weeks, that social media has found its voice, and it is challenging all conventional platforms that Mr. Modi's government thought he could use to intimidate, brainwash, or kind of set the narrative that he wanted. So today, it's not just about Mark Zuckerberg apologizing. Can I give you a frank answer to why Mark Zuckerberg has done that? In fact, he would not only apologize, he would crawl. This is a big market. He's a smart American guy. If Mr. Modi is feeling very thrilled with an apology from him, good for him. The truth is they asked Meta and every other social media platform to remove content that was critical of Mr. Modi. So this is a larger threat narrative of this government, which is a fact. I mean, we know that. We know.
So you think that social media platforms should run regardless of any rules of pornography or any sensitivity of content for any age of people? All that should be allowed, and that, according to you, is free speech, free expression, and the freest democracy. Abhijit Iyer Mitra, flawed argument.
Listen, there is child porn causes actual harm. There is a huge difference between abusing someone. Sanjay, I'm talking. Thank you. There is
you have been abusing on that platform too, for the record.
I've been abusing child molesters and rapists. That is why
you've been abusing women.
No, wait, hang on. No. They are certified child molesters.
Navika, I hope you are aware of that. He's been abusing
women. Well, let's not get personal. I'm not here. I hate abuse of any kind. Let's go to the principal conversation and argument.
The Congress spokesperson here is defending child rape
for the program.
He's defending child rape on TV, on national TV. This is the state Congress spokesperson has come down.
Exactly. By giving the benefit of the doubt to Meta, Sanjay Jha, that is what you might do. But does this have questions and ramifications for the larger issue of freedom of speech, regulation of content, Abhijit?
Yes, it does. Look, either you're an intermediary or you're an active participant. These companies are here in India as intermediaries, which means they are not allowed to boost. They are not, or if they boost, they have to be clear about it, because YouTube, Meta, all these platforms, they take a cut from people who are boosting individual content. We don't know what these algorithms are, who is paying for boosting certain things, and they certainly aren't declaring those earnings here in India. There has to be transparency on this, because effectively it is foreign, influencing of the domestic political dialogue. That is number one. Number two, the laws against child pornography are very, very strict. This causes actual physical harm. You are literally filming victims and making money off of it, which harms the children. So there is strict action required, and they can't get away claiming that they have no role in it.
There cannot be any two questions about being standing up against child pornography, and I don't think anybody on this panel in their right mind will begin to now support child pornography. But let me ask Chirag Sethi, such issues have been raised in Europe against social media platforms. In China, of course, there is no social media and no freedom to do so. There are regulations that exist in countries like Australia. America has some regulations. Many countries have these regulations. Suddenly, why do Indians have this problem about freedom of speech? And what kind of freedom and what kind of content are we looking for freedom for? Child pornography?
Navika ji, first of all, nobody, like you said, nobody is against that child pornography on these platforms should be banned, and anyone uploading that should be held accountable. They should be hanged rather. But there also has to be a point where if Modi ji's post is removed and there is so much chaos, so that opposition leaders, even the 15-year-old girl who was abused, who was threatened for rape, all those people who have abused her should also be equally responsible. They should also be accountable for all of that. But that doesn't happen. It's only a one-way thing. These all pornography things have been happening for very long. Why? After the Modi ji's post was removed, why was Meta summoned now? Because they knew all the agitation that started at Jantar Mantar, all the dharna that started Jantar Mantar only got spiraled through these platforms. And they know now they can't control all of that. So this is just one of the pressure tactics. Again, I'm saying nobody is with the child pornography.
You are running scared because you chose this moment only because Modi ji was affected. That is the charge against you. Please respond.
No, Navika, before we even, I answer the general of what restrictions probably should be there for any democracy or for any foreign entity who's operating such a platform which is used by such a large number of people in a country. Why I have serious objections for any foreign company to object to the dialogue between a prime minister and its people in a democracy in 21st century. Who is Meta to stop our prime minister speaking to its people? Who's going to decide that? And how are we on different pages on this particular issue? We are a democracy at the end of the day. A democratically elected prime minister wants to converse with its electorate, is speaking to its people, and that too in a sensitive time when he is appealing for normalcy, and Meta decides to take down a post, and that's okay with the Congress party? I'm sorry, this is beyond political lines. This is your stand against the democratic setup of this country. This is anti-constitution, this is anti-democracy. So point number one, I think this is shameful for the Congress and the opposition when they have different views about this. I think in 21st century, the Prime Minister has full right and in all senses to converse freely and nobody can interfere. Point number two, all such platforms, they are subject to restrictions in all countries. Why? I don't understand why whenever it is a foreign company, a foreign entity, a foreign funding, the opposition has a very softer heart and they have a very softer stance and they say, no, we don't want to support the laws in our country. Don't run the country by our laws, by our government, but let's support these foreign companies. Why so? Why don't you want to have a very constructive
Sanjay
debate
Jha,
about this? Why don't
Sanjay
you
Jha,
come out and say
quick
that
intervention.
what are the restrictions that
10 seconds, Sanjay. What's your
Navika,
point?
Navika, everyone agrees with issues of national security, etc., etc. Let's not waste our time on that. The government of Mr. Modi uses this as a pretext
Arey Sanjay
to
Jha, you agree
actually
with the Prime
throttle
Minister's
all
video being
social
taken
media
down or not?
platforms
You answer that.
which are platforming.
You have not answered the question. Does any platform have the right to take down a head of state's statement which does not violate rules? It's not child pornography. Child pornography is allowed, but a prime minister's statement is removed. Isn't that an issue that also should be taken up? Why are we shying away from that, Abhijit Iyer Mitra?
Well, Facebook was once an instrument of the BJP.
Suddenly, when we bring up child porn, he shies away. When we bring up child porn, he shies away. Why is that?
This man is spreading
See,
fake news on your show, Navika. Don't allow it. It's dangerous.
You just equated child porn with abuse.
He's a shameless man. He's abused
didn't
women.
Well, I'm completely out of time. I'm completely out of time. I think the apology itself proves that some things were against the law. The company realized. Why doesn't the opposition do so as well? Why are they defending the indefensible? That's the real question. We leave it at that. Thank you very much to all my viewers for joining me on the Newshour tonight. Good night. Be safe. I'll be back tomorrow with the Newshour.